The one and only Rosenthal Report. Hello, here he is, the one and only attorney from way down there in the South. One of the great attorneys from the great state of Texas, the one and only Jeremy Rosenthal. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
boy. Good morning.
That wasn't from me, just for the record. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we throw at you three topics, usually doozies, and then we get schooled just a little bit here, and we appreciate that. Let's start with topic number one. Legal experts weighing in on Duke's White Lotus trademark issue. Would they win in court? And I do have to say, White Lotus is the TV series. I think it's in its third or fourth season, and this last season was crazy. What do you know? What do you think about this one, Jeremy?
I don't watch White Lotus, but if you are into a gratuitous sex and a lot of violence in your television shows, then this one is for you. Not me. No. We watch legal. I watch, highfalutin legal stuff. Ken Burns documentaries. Got those on, yeah, right. That's
Mickey Mouse stuff, Disney, all that good stuff.
Steamboat Willie. Indeed. So this is pretty interesting stuff. We don't get a chance to talk a lot about trademark and copyright infringement. A trademark, and we're going to go Sesame Street here, lawyer Sesame Street. A trademark is a word, a phrase, a symbol that you can protect and license. However, there are limits to this, as you would think. I am allowed to use it for satire. I'm allowed to use it for academic purposes. I'm allowed to use it for free expression, right? If everything everywhere had to be licensed 100% of the time, Saturday Night Live could not make fun of you.
Right.
And that's a First Amendment problem. Apparently, and I don't watch the show because I'm doing more, academic things. Apparently, there's a couple unlikable characters that are just rocking their Duke gear everywhere they can, and Duke is kind of about done with that, and they wrote them a nasty gram to try to stop it.
Now I see where this is going. Oh. And you're right, they wear Duke attire. They're a Duke family. Yes,
and like all Duke, like everything associated with Duke, they just can't help but lose when it really matters.
That's so funny.
Look, I'm sorry. Well, that's, it's,
you're right.
It's when we're right about this. Look, and they don't care about us, do they? Maybe we'll get a nasty letter, right? But what they said is that copyright or trademark rather infringement becomes a problem when you begin to use it to confuse the consumer. For instance, if I had a television show or if I had a commercial where everybody was wearing a Duke t-shirt, okay, at that point the viewer is thinking, okay, Duke must sponsor this. Duke must, Duke. These people are using Duke to try to pull us into their commercial enterprise or business, and that's essentially what Duke's lawyers. Duke's got a top 15 law school, by the way. They're not dummies there. Their law, they got their nasty gram said, you're using us to you're confusing the viewers to think that we're a part of this, which I don't know that anybody really thinks that. It's kind of Duke sort of pouting, if you will, for losing.
I do find that if whenever I'm watching something and there's a Syracuse jersey or a Syracuse sweatshirt, I look at it like, wow, that's so cool. They used to say, must be one of the writers went to Syracuse. That's how I see it.
Yeah. It's exciting.
I never looked at this watching White Lotus, which I'm one of those terrible people, as you know, Jeremy, who has seen, and my jaw has dropped this season a few times, more than a few times.
Wow.
But I never looked at it and was like, oh, all people who go to Duke are demented and have no morals.
Yeah.
Well, and a spoiler alert, I'm going to give everybody 3 seconds to turn off your radio. 3, 2, 1. There is a suicide scene where and it's a dream sequence of such where somebody is wearing a Duke apparel while they do that. So I think that's what's the rock in Duke's shoe here.
So where does it go, though? I mean, this lawsuit goes nowhere.
I think legally what happens here is Duke throws this out there, and more of us actually watch the show and think bad things about Duke. I think that's where this goes. I don't think Duke has got a case here. I don't think they've got a case, and I think they know that they don't have a case. I think they're towing the line. A lot of times you'll see universities, and a lot of times you'll see people, trademark holders, that they don't want to be accused of not defending their property. So they will go and send nasty grams, and they will do it for other cases to say, look, we always defend our logos. So that may be what they're doing.
We had a case up here, very interesting, that a group of what are they, brewers who, what do they call people who make liquor? They'd be whatever.
Heroes.
Heroes. That's exactly it. Anyway, they made a drink, and I forget, it was something like called orange something, and of course the Syracuse orange, and it was this horrible orange tasting liqueur that you probably would
like
mix with another drink and whatever. But Syracuse University sued them, did a cease and desist, and let me tell you, if they had any stock on this horrible drink left, everybody bought it up, and that ended it all. It went away. They never made it again. But everything sold. You can't. It's kind of a collector's item today because of that. So
you got to be careful. You got to be careful, because you're just, all you're going to do is make the problem worse sometimes. And they know that too. Duke's had this conversation, in their room. They're like, well, do we? Okay. So
yeah, I'm sure they know what they kind of know what they're getting into. All right, topic 2. Elon Musk sued over Pennsylvania signature payments. What happened here? What are your thoughts?
Elon Musk, as we all know, has thrown a lot of money into some different elections recently. Back last year, you remember he had the sweepstakes where they're signing people up, and the PAC, the Political Action Committee, actually had hired a bunch of canvassers, and were paying them, it sounds like, a commission of sorts. The committee who got sued here, so somebody is suing them, trying to certify it as a class action, saying there's a whole bunch of it that haven't been paid. Musk's action committee concedes that they've said, look, we're paying we feel like we're paying everybody, and even if we haven't paid you yet, we will pay you. We've paid most people, and we're sorry we haven't paid everybody. But the folks are kind of, there's a lot of grumbling, and the folks are getting restless. They're getting their pitchforks and torches, and they're going to come and try to get paid.
And it's interesting. I wonder if the fact that in Wisconsin, where the payments didn't work out for Musk, played a role to say, well, these payments really are insignificant when it comes to swaying an election.
Could be. I mean, look, if I'm a canvasser, and if I'm paycheck to paycheck, if I'm a guy who really kind of needs this money to get by, and then I see Elon Musk dropping 25 million in another election, I might be, dude, hey, hey, what about me? I right? Hey, remember me? So there may be a little of that going on.
And you know what? At the end of the day, you could take the $1 million, but only you know who you voted for inside the booth.
True.
So that's interesting. All right, third topic. An Ohio teacher charged with offering a student to kill her estranged husband. This is a classic story. What happened here?
Right.
Yes.
This is a murder for hire that got a little further than it probably should have. So, substitute teacher in Columbus, Ohio, probably some mental health issues there, pays a student 250 bones as a down payment to kill her husband. And this actually got uncovered by the student's mom. Detective Mom was going through Junior's texts and is like, oh my God, what's going on here? And she's the one that called the police. So the teacher had told the student, here's the times that nobody's around, here's the times that you can get him. And so this thing got a little farther than I think it probably should have.
And that obviously is, that's a no-no. If you're, you're leading somebody to kill to get rid of the person. I mean, why not just leave? Why not just walk? I never understand these.
There's insurance, and then we watch White Lotus on television, and we're like, oh, there are yes, there are ways. It's TV. That's what's doing it.
And oh, by the way, that suicide fruit they talk about in White Lotus is a real fruit, and they say that it will kill you, and that plays a role in the show as well. Final question I have for you that's not on the sheet.
Yeah.
And without having you go into a whole, you can just give me a quick answer. Don't feel like I'm trying to bring you into, as what somebody called this morning, the wormhole, down into the wormhole. But on the Columbia case with the student who is in question right now in court, the Trump administration wants to deport him. He has a wife and a child and one on the way. I always remember hearing stories, and this was a big Russian thing, where the Russian, at least where I grew up, where the Russian would come in, they would marry someone from the United States, and they would immediately become citizens of the U.S. Obviously, that seems to be not the case today, but does he have an advantage because he's married to an American?
It's a factor. It's a factor that courts will consider because they don't want to break up families. The question is the main question usually is going to be, is this marriage a fraud or not? Do you people love each other? Right. I mean, let's, here's Your Honor, here's a tattoo of her on my arm. Right. This is not fake. That's kind of the main question.
All right. Fair enough. Without taking up any more time, we love it. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. Jeremy Rosenthal.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
All right. Thanks so much. I knew that was coming. I was just waiting for it. Jeremy, thanks so much.